Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Breitling Superocean Heritage 46 millimeters in stainless steel. Now, the Breitling Superocean Heritage, as the name would suggest, takes the traditional Breitling upscale dive watch line, the Superocean, and it adds elements from the history of Breitling's professional-grade dive watches. In fact, this one, a model released in 2007 and produced to the present, draws primarily from the original reference 1004. That was the first of the 1957 to 1958 Breitling Superocean references. So, fittingly enough, released almost exactly 50 years later, the Superocean Heritage channels the spirit of that original, but in a modern-sized case with modern detailing and, most importantly, modern luxury watch standards of materials, fit, and finish. So let's go over what makes this watch so appealing and how it blends those twin threads of upscale content and heritage elements. On my wrist, you wouldn't know that this watch is 46 millimeters, although it has tremendous presence and a nice broad, secure stance. It doesn't overwhelm my 6 1/3 inch, 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now my wrist is fairly standard in shape, but it's a little bit below average in size. And yet this 46 millimeter Breitling probably has the most comfortable fit and the most planted feel of any of the large Breitling sport watches. Now, I've got a love-hate relationship with the big Breitlings. I admire their standards of finish, their quality, the substance of them, but there are so few of them that I can actually wear with a straight face. This is not one of those. This watch plays nicely with my wrist, and although I typically regard a 40 millimeter watch as ideal, this one could be my everyday do-it-all watch. And if your wrist is larger than mine, that's probably doubly so for you, because you can also see that the watch simply does not sit that high on the wrist. It's a very thin timepiece for such a broad-shouldered sports watch, a no-holds-barred diver, in a traditional mold. And perhaps because of that traditional mold, it doesn't have a whole lot of height to it. So it fits very nice, flush to the wrist. This would easily, especially with that slight tumble home of the bezel that's slanting off to the side, this would slip under a dress cuff. And with a can't go wrong, basically white and black color scheme, this would pair well with formal attire or casual attire. It's a very versatile watch. Now, I want to draw attention to elements of the dial because it's the stick indexes, it's the broad, highly loomed hands, it's the high legibility of the dial, and the corresponding design of the bezel that really draws the direct parallels to that 1958 reference 1004 model. It's really lovingly done. There's nothing overwrought about it, although modern dive watches are either oversized or overprinted with over-styled dials groaning with graphics and calibrations. There's none of that here. It's very spare, it's classical, really, in its detailing, and of course it is fully loomed. Not the indexes themselves, but the dots outboard of them, and then the hands just glow like a torch at night. Plus, there's a thoughtful accent right at 12 o'clock, that gorgeous rose gold Breitling B. I can't get enough of that, and to me that really seals the deal and makes the face of this Breitling Superocean Heritage a winner. What I also like about it is the fact that, like all Breitlings, it's got a rock-solid heartbeat with a Breitling caliber 17 based on a chronometer spec ETA 2824. Now this movement is tough as nails, as tough as the thinner ETA 2892, you know it from the Bond Seamasters by Omega. As tough as that thin movement is, the 2824 is the true tank in the ETA lineup. An absolute bomb-proof movement becoming of a chronometer-grade dive-style sports watch, and I'm really glad to see it pulling yeoman duty inside this Breitling. It's the perfect selection. If you're not going to go with an in-house movement, go with a can't-go-wrong movement, and Breitling certainly does here. Now the watch, I'd say it's somewhere between a heavy watch and a light watch. So that is to say, for the size it is, it feels lighter on the wrist, and it doesn't feel anywhere near as heavy as its 46 millimeters suggest. And a big part of that is this gorgeous mesh ocean racer bracelet. I cannot get enough of this. This is like the 1960s beads of rice bracelets. Something like this would have once been considered ideal for a dress watch, and I can see why. First and foremost, done well, these chain link mesh bracelets, and the chain links are very tightly spaced, wonderfully flexible, and incredibly supple on the wrist. They're hard to do, and they're remarkably hard to do well with a beautiful, even gloss finish, and yet that's what you have on this Breitling Superocean Heritage 46. While you could in theory put this on a strap, I don't know why you would. This bracelet, like the watch itself, will pair beautifully with any kind of dress attire or casual wear, and the feeling on the wrist is divine. There are certainly tougher bracelets out there. I wouldn't question the durability of this one. If you wanted an absolute bomb-proof bracelet, you get something like a Rolex Oyster, but I wouldn't trade that last 5% of durability for the wrist feel of this. This is the one you want on your wrist every day. This is the one you want on your wrist when it's wet and there's sand ground in there, when your wrist is sweaty. The clasp is beautifully built. With a clamshell closure, it closes with a nice reassuring thunk and a thunk. Very secure, beautifully finished like the rest of the watch. It's a perfect complement to that gorgeous Ocean Racer bracelet. I can't think of a more comfortable metal-based bracelet on any watch by any watchmaker, regardless of price point or market station. That's how much I love this Ocean Racer. It's really the kind of thing you have to experience to fully appreciate. And if you want to start your appreciation of this Breitling Superocean Heritage 46mm dive watch, you can log on to our website, Watch You Want, and see this timepiece complete with all original Breitling boxes, technical manuals, and documents of provenance. Check it out, because if you love the heritage of the Breitling watch manufacturer, but you love a modern, contemporary, substantial stance of a sport watch on your wrist, and it doesn't hurt that this one comes with the best bracelet, bar none, on the market. I have a feeling that this Breitling Superocean Heritage 46mm, available on our website, Watch You Want, will in fact be the watch you want.